This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Go get it done. Green.
Where high octane meets the high banks. And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, one unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com, pbhnphysiciangroup.com, to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group.
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash. Enjoy unlimited inside and out hand washes for just $49.95 per month, less than the price of 2 washes. You'll get unlimited hand washes with sealer wax, dash, windows and vacuum, tire shined, and hand finished. All unlimited. Not a member? Stop and get a quick wash anytime at great prices. And during January and February, if you join our club, you'll only pay $25 a month for the first 2 months and then $49.95 thereafter. Visit us at unlimitedAutoWashClub.com or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
They are handing out bags left and right. Oh, what a joy it must be to not be franchise tagged. Sorry, T. Higgins.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. It is a motion-filled Monday. March 10th. I started to say March 30th there, and C-Cat started to shiver. He said, "Where's my month going?" C-Cat on the other side of the glass on the ones and twos. What got into me right there, man?
I don't know, man. We're just buzzing today.
It's all the bread, bro.
There are some times you get Mondays where you kind of drag your feet on the way to work. This is not one of those Mondays.
No, sir, Bobby. I mean, J.C. Horn.
Thank you.
J.C. Horn, former South Carolina Gamecock, a really good cornerback, record-setting deal for the Carolina Panthers, $25 million a year, $70 million guaranteed. I mean, and he, of all people, is one of many just walking around today like this.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
This boy's getting paid like 2016 NBA offseason right now. It's getting crazy.
Oh, it sure is. Just coming. And we're going to get news throughout the show today. So keep your radio dial right here to 106.3 FM or right on your YouTube Facebook, Twitter, wherever, because we're going to have it first and we're going to have it accurate.
We're going to have it, and we're going to be locked in on it, and we're talking about some of the best and worst deals, not just free agency signings or agreements, because, again, the tampering, the legal tampering period started at noon today. Deals won't be officially put into ink until Wednesday. Then, again, there were some trades as well over the weekend. I mean, we got a lot to go off of here today on Emotion Monday, and the Motion Man himself, Theo Dorsey, here to just guide you through all of it. Now, CCAT, before I get into all of this, though, man, we got, NFL stuff. We'll get this. It'll be all next 2 hours. I promise you. You're at home, sitting, waiting, trying to get some reaction. Also, you might be one of the many people who realized this morning that Elon might have failed you. I don't know what's going on with Twitter or X or whatever the hell they calling it, but today of all days, the damn website ain't working.
Yeah, my girlfriend thought it was like her phone, and kept on asked, like, is the internet working? Is the internet working? No, the internet was not broken. It was Twitter.
It's just Twitter is off. Your Wi-Fi is not down. Your phone is not glitching. Twitter is actually not working appropriately. Maybe somebody should take a government agency in there and start to strip it down to the studs and see what they can do to make that thing work. But since Twitter, which has been the agent of information for many people, especially through free agency, is down, well, that's where Theoretically Speaking comes humming in. So we'll be dropping the deals as they happen live. We'll be giving you the reports based on what we see here on ESPN. And I do want to start with this one, not necessarily deals that happened today, but riveting deals that sent shockwaves through the NFL, through the NFL system this past weekend. Now, I don't know where you were when the Myles Garrett signing happened. I was actually at the Norton with the wife, kicking it. Had a little quiet weekend this weekend, CCAT. Quiet weekend with the wife. And I saw the Myles Garrett deal happen. I'm like, hey, I got to do something on this. We dropped a YouTube video reaction. I was clowning the Bengals because, well, if Garrett's getting paid $40 million a year and Jamar Chase is supposed to be the highest paid non-quarterback of all time, that means it sounds like he's getting 41. And you know who doesn't want to fork over $41 million a year? Mike Brown. Like, there's a chance, CCAT, that Jamar Chase might end up getting franchise tag next year.
I mean, seriously, yeah, like,
I think that's not out of the realm of
we're
possibility.
Probably going to see another deal that makes someone else the highest paid non-position player in the NFL today.
Yes.
Like, we're going to hear about this, and every minute the Bengals wait to pay Jamar Chase, the price goes up.
Bengals, man. I'm telling you, the Bengals brass, bunch of idiots.
Because I defend not paying someone early when you still have a season to play.
Yeah.
But once you are in the offseason, there is no more data points, no more injuries that can happen. You get no more tape. The price is only going up for all of these guys unless you're Hassan Reddick.
Absolutely. What happened with that, by the way?
He got like $14 million,
it's
1-year deal.
It's his fault, I guess, because of what he did last year a little bit. He did come on late and play, but yeah, that he went to the Buccaneers, right?
I didn't even remember.
I think it's the Buccaneers. They went and got him. They like those speedy edge rushers. I think it was the Buccaneers. We'll look it up. We don't want to, we don't want to misinformation our good people here on Theoretically Speaking. So if CCAT pulls it up, is that what you were doing?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now.
Okay. We'll figure out where Hassan Reddick went in particular. But before we can get to a lot of the deals, we have to talk about the deal, the number one deal of the weekend, and that was the Browns deciding to re-sign Myles Garrett. Now, to me, he is definitively the best edge rusher in the NFL, given what he's able to do both in the run game and in the pass. He is the best defensive end the NFL has to offer, likely the best defensive player in general. The Browns pay him as such, $123 million guaranteed. He also gets $40 million a year, which is a record for any non-quarterback, surpassing what Justin Jefferson got at $35 million a year last offseason, So that deal, it tells me three things, CCAT, and then I'll move off of it and we'll get to some of the some of the arguments we had pre-show on some wide receiver moving in the NFL, which I'm intrigued to get to. Number one, it tells me that the Browns paid what I like to call the Cleveland tax to keep Garrett in-house, to keep him, for lack of better terms, hostage, because we never thought that this was actually a contract negotiation. In fact, the powers that be and the smart NFL insiders and everybody around it that were reporting on this situation, even they didn't think it was because of how much time was left on Garrett's deal. I believe there were still 2 more years. And the fact that in Myles Garrett's statement, he said deliberatively, I want to leave here so I can play for a contender. I'm about to pull it up again because I think that's key to recall as we look at what this deal was for Myles Garrett. He didn't leave the Browns. He wasn't asking to leave the Browns because of a money dispute. He wanted to leave so he can actually win games. He was compensated pretty fairly. And I think the Browns turned around, looked at him and said, well, how's $40 million a year sound?
Yeah, sure.
Would that put you?
And your Cleveland tax is right on the money because we talk about places being free agent draws because of market, because of quarterback, because of history of winning and whatnot. We don't really talk about maybe free agent deterrence. And just for now until many years in history, Cleveland has been that free agent deterrent.
Right.
And when you have an opportunity to make the same amount of money elsewhere, odds are you're going to do that.
I'm looking now to find the old Myles Garrett statement when he requested a trade. I believe it was, February 3rd. Wow. Over a month ago. So in his statement, Garrett said, as a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. And that goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of the Cleveland Browns has made this one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man that I am today. While I loved calling this city home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I have requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Nobody, and I know that this upset a lot of Cleveland fans and a lot of the Cleveland sports talk radio hosts, including our very own at GKB Cleveland, ESPN West Palm Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland, my guy Emmett Golden and all that. They were really heartbroken that he says, I want to win a Super Bowl and I can't do it here, so I would like to be traded. They tried to berate the man and all of this stuff. They tried to come at him. C-Cat, we could both agree he's 29 years old at a position where you can play into your latter years, but he's at his most effective right now, and he's only got a couple of more years of being the prime real estate guy there. I mean, you got guys like Abdul Carter coming into the league looking to take his spot. You got the kid Dylan Stewart out of South Carolina that'll be in the league a couple of years. Like, he's got like 2 or 3 more years of being at the peak of his powers and competing for a Super Bowl. If he wants to do so, there is no timeline in America. There is no even advocate for the Cleveland Browns that can convince you or I that they're going to be competing for a title in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I would say that if you were to scratch off a couple of names that you can bet your pinky on, bet your right hand, that this team will not win the Super Bowl in the next 3 years, the Browns are probably going to make that list.
Bro, I would bet my life on that.
All right, well, let's...
I would absolutely bet my actual existence on the Browns not winning a Super Bowl in the next 3 years.
Oh, I can see the confetti falling right now in 2027.
It's a tear coming down. I'm like, golly, what the hell was I talking about?
The last time you made a proclamation like that, you dropped the Panthers as your favorite team.
It worked out. And it was connected with the Cleveland Browns because the Browns, I made the proclamation on air on the radio, and I'm a man of my word. I made the proclamation that if my favorite team at the time, the Carolina Panthers, actually trade for Baker Mayfield, I will renounce my fandom. It was the last straw for me. And then a couple months later, they did it, and I'm a man of my word. So, again, the Browns win the Super Bowl in the next 3 years. We'll have to revisit and see how much of a backbone I still got. I mean, things might change for me. But, again, that's how confident I am for real. And the Browns not having that kind of leeway, number one, because of the Watson deal. Number two, because of the conference that they're in. And number three, they don't have a quarterback today. And even if they go draft one this year or pick up somebody off the veteran scrap heap in this offseason tangent, which is Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, I'm not even going to say the dude, AR. Like, that's not going to be a guy that you even assume can get you a Super Bowl. That just makes you competent again. The Browns are not winning a Super Bowl. Myles Garrett, and again, I want to go back to my 3 points. The Garrett contract extension, 3 points. Number one, the Browns had to pay the Cleveland tax for Myles Garrett to stay. Number two, that means that for Garrett himself, who thought he was going to be leveraging himself into a situation where he can compete for a Super Bowl, he now has at least a semblance of the power to try and hold the torch to this organization to make a contender out of this roster over the next 3 or 4 years because he made his intentions clear.
It's like an extremely toxic relationship where someone's threatening to leave, someone's threatening to call the divorce, to move out of the apartment, whatever, and they're using things that aren't the actual issue in the relationship against the other person, even though that's not truly why they're leaving. They want something else. Myles Garrett wanted something else. He didn't want a Super Bowl contender. He just wanted more money.
And by the way, it's the same Cleveland tax that the Browns paid, what was that, 3 years ago? When that naughty boy quarterback, Deshaun Watson, not only did they trade for him, but they gave him $230 million guaranteed. They broke the bank. They broke records back then. That was a Cleveland tax because as we revisit that situation that happened right around this time 3 years ago, Watson didn't want to go to Cleveland. He had other options. He favored those other options, and then Cleveland wrote the blank check, the Cleveland tax, and then they had their quarterback. That didn't work out. Garrett should work out. He's an excellent football player, and by all accounts, he is a high character guy as well, high level work ethic. Like you expect him to be a good player for you. But if his intentions are to win a Super Bowl, the Browns did not come a step closer to doing so by actually re-signing him. In fact, ironically, the Browns, I would feel more comfortable or confident saying they could win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years if they would have traded him for a mega deal with multiple picks coming back and maybe a couple of prospects. Like then I would say, hey, maybe they can do something this year.
Yeah, it's kind of like the alternative of the Saquon Barkley Giants situation where the Giants were better off, believe it or not, getting rid of or not signing Saquon to a big deal to stay in New York.
Yeah.
Maybe it would hurt jersey sales, and that'd be the same conversation in Cleveland. It's going to help jersey sales in Cleveland with Garrett staying there.
Mm-hmm.
But the Giants would not be closer to competing in the NFC, to competing in the division if they kept Saquon with all that money.
Yeah, well, the Chiefs would have three-peated, though. So, you got to figure out what matters more to you if you're the Giants. Like,
preventing the Eagles from winning or winning yourself.
Yeah, no, for real, though. Like, I wonder. I
That's
really
actually
do
a
wonder.
legitimate conversation.
It
like,
is.
If you are a division rival and you are miles and miles away from actually being competent and being respected, is it worth being a 5% better, or is it worth making your conference division rival 5% worse?
Hey, C-Cat? You're on to something because guess what else? This is exactly what I was getting to, my third point of the Myles Garrett deal. Guess what else the Cincinnati Bengals, Freudian slip, the Cleveland Browns did by inking Garrett to this historic contract.
What's that?
The Bengals have 3 key players they must re-sign or deal this offseason as they try to retool this roster. Number 1, the most important, Jamar Chase. He's the best one that they have to lock into a contract. He is a reigning Triple Crown winner at receiver. He also was promised by their pseudo general manager right around the draft combine time that they're going to make him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. That number used to be right at 35 where Justin Jefferson was. That was reasonable. Hey, if you're saying that out of your mouth right now, then tomorrow, why don't you just pay him $36 million a year and get it over with?
Right. So I guess maybe Jamar Chase was asking for more years?
No, I don't know why they haven't sat down and got the deal done. If I were to assume, it would have to have something to do with ownership and Mike Brown, who has been notoriously stingy with the money, especially when it comes to guaranteed money down the line past, I think, the second year. They have a strict rule about guaranteeing money past the second year of a contract. They broke that rule for Joe Burrow. They have a strict rule about negotiating early in a player's contract. They broke that rule for Joe Burrow. They've refused to do so for Jamar Chase. And all he's done since they have pushed back the timeline of re-signing a franchise, a superstar wide receiver, is have his value increased. Now Myles Garrett's $40 million a year means that you've got to pay Jamar Chase $41. Or guess what? If I'm Jamar Chase, I'm like, well, I'll sit and wait. I'll keep waiting because the longer I wait, the more it's going to cost to keep me. So that's what they did with that. That's one of the free agents that impacted for the Bengals. The second free agent that also impacts for the Bengals is T. Higgins. Because if T. Higgins is on the franchise tag for the second straight year for $26 million, and that's the last you can do of it, there's no way in hell they're tagging him a third straight year. I don't think it's ever happened. In the history of the NFL, I believe in the last 7 times a player has been franchise tagged back-to-back off seasons, they've worked out a long-term extension for said player to come back. I think only one player's got tagged twice and then left. T. Higgins' value also goes up simultaneously with this Myles Garrett contract because the guy on the other side of him, Jamar Chase's value just skyrocketed. So if you're paying Chase $41, T. Higgins, who was probably hovering around $30 million a year, probably peaks up to about $33, $34. Just that's what inflation does. What's the DK Metcalf contract at?
5 years, $150, so $30 per year.
I think his is right at 30 per year with some escalations in there here and there. But again, many people would assume or evaluate those two receivers, DK Metcalf and T. Higgins. And a lot of people would say T. Higgins is a better and sometimes at least more productive wide receiver than DK Metcalf. Now, we're going to talk Metcalf. We're going to talk Devontae Adams. I tend to lean Metcalf in this conversation, but a lot of people have a very high rating on T. Higgins, who's younger, I believe, as well. Back to the topic of conversation. Not only is Jamar Chase and T. Higgins' contract, their value going up, and now the Bengals, your division rival, who's trying to rebuild around this franchise quarterback, they have the one thing you don't, and that's the guy at the most important position. Now they have to try and figure out a way to keep both of those receivers and their most important free agent on the other side of the ball, where they're the weakest at right now, is defensive end Trey Hendrickson, who was the sack champ last year, right? That dude who they have already told, they told his agent after the Max Crosby deal, they said, damn it, y'all paying Max Crosby how much? All right, Trey, go get out there. You and your agent survey the rest of the league, figure out what your value is. We will trade you because there's no way we can pay you that much money. Well, the value of Trey Hendrickson also goes up as the edge rushers continue to get paid. And that's not the end of the edge rusher off season right now. We still have Micah Parsons, who likely is going to get paid more than Myles Garrett, right? We still have who is the number one free agent, who's just an unrestricted free agent right now. Don't forget the name. Josh Sweat. 2.5 sacks in the Super Bowl. Forced an interception out of Patrick Mahomes as well. In the biggest game of his life, he showed up big time, and I think he's going to get overpaid this offseason as well. Trey Hendrickson, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, all of their values peaked once the Browns signed on the dotted line with Myles Garrett for that historic contract. That's ugly for the Bengals. It is beautiful for anybody that is a Bengals and a Browns hater, because I do think that this, when you talk about the health of these two franchises to be able to actually compete at a high level over the next 2 or 3 years, this actually probably ticks both of them down a bit, because investing $40 million in an edge rusher when you don't have an offense that can actually create an advantage for you and get a lead, it's kind of a waste of time. The Browns won 3 games last year, and damn it, Myles Garrett was playing.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a bummer for the rest of the league because we would love to see him play meaningful games in the second half of his career. It would have been nice. Like we were talking about maybe Myles Garrett on the Eagles. I know it would put a hurt on the rest of the league.
Yeah, never mind. You're out. You're done. No more football talk for you. What the hell are you talking about? Nobody wants to see that crap. Sicko.
I would have liked to see it, and then I would have hated it come playoff time.
Yeah, exactly. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. What was the most impactful deal from the NFL weekend? I mean, the deal that is going to send shockwaves throughout the NFL, not just with their own franchise, but also based on how other players are now going to get paid. Maybe it turned a team that was just a playoff contender into a championship contender. Which free agency signing and or trade was the biggest deal from this weekend as legal tampering period opened up at noon? Free agency is underway in the NFL, and money is flying left and right. Deals are gone. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Tap in, hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline. Join us on Emotion Monday here on Theoretically Speaking. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County, right on through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. 888-760-3776. Biggest deal of the weekend. I say Myles Garrett, not just because of how healthy that contract was. Again, he's walking around them Cleveland streets. Loaded. Loaded.
With your broke ass.
But also, the butterfly effect of that contract is hitting, and I only scratched the surface of the amount of players and teams that are going to be impacted by that deal.
I told you we were going to have breaking news throughout the show because of the frenzy in free agency, and folks, I was right. Twitter's back up and running.
Oh, is that the breaking news?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow. Wow.
I thought about teasing that going into break, but that would be unfair for our fans.
That would. Because they're looking for these big deals happening. They're wondering, like, oh, who's going to be protecting Patrick Mahomes' blindside?
5 seconds of a tease and a payoff.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's good. See, C-Cat, man, you're masterful at this stuff. How was your weekend, by the way, man? We got right into the NFL talk. I didn't ask you what you were able to enjoy. I heard you and Brian talking some wrestling. Like, you kicked it. You had a big birthday this weekend.
Yeah, girlfriend's birthday on the same day as a wrestling pay-per-view that I wanted to watch. So I kind of got the memo a week ago, 2 weeks ago. She said, listen, please do me a favor and don't ask to watch the pay-per-view because I will say yes.
That is such
But I don't want to do that, so please don't.
That's a funny remark from her because it's her in a very nice and cordial way telling you not to do it. But almost her saying that she would do it if you asked is stripping your power away from even wanting to ask.
Well, just in her life in general, she puts a lot of people above herself in certain situations. Yeah. And the birthday is the one day where you should never make sacrifices, and this is one of those things.
Very mature of you.
So what did I do? I watched Miss Congeniality last night for the first time ever when I got home. It's a pretty good movie.
So what is that movie about? I think I've seen it. Isn't it like a Disney adjacent type movie? It's got like Hillary Duff or something in it?
No, you are not even close.
Miss Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality.
Oh, it's like the Princess Diana lady. She's wearing a crown. She's wearing a crown in it.
A crown does matter.
Yes.
If there are any women or men who have watched that movie listening right now or watching right now, they'll probably be screaming at their mobile device or radio.
Yeah.
But Miss Congeniality, it's an FBI agent played by Sandra Bullock. Yeah. Yeah, you got it, actually.
Blindside. Yeah, thank you.
In 2000. And she...
William Shatner.
Yeah, William Shatner's in it, too. Anyway, she is an FBI agent who's more of a tomboy, not really a girly girl, but she's trying to get a leg up in her FBI career, so she plays a beauty contestant to crack a case. And, I'm not going to spoil the rest of it. I know you've had 25-plus years to watch that movie, but you know what? Maybe I'll convince someone to go home and watch it today.
$212 million at the box office.
Pretty good movie.
Pretty good. December 14, 2000 it came out. I remember a lot about Miss Congeniality being a thing. I just never ended up watching it. I mean, I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a Disney movie, honestly. The longest.
I had no idea anything about the movie until I watched it. It kind of falls in one of those... what is it? Clueless is another movie like that.
Yeah.
Girl movies,
Legally
man.
Blonde.
Yes, that was the trio of movies we were talking about when driving back home from happy hour to watch Miss Congeniality. I kind of
Is this her favorite movie?
No, just wanted to watch one of her movies that she likes that I haven't seen before. And you have a big surprised look on your face. Is this NFL news or is this something else?
Breaking news out of the NFL. We got to go to the break, but I will give it to you. I'm not going to keep you waiting. Adam Schefter, former Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold, reached an agreement today on a 3-year, $110 million contract, including $55 million guaranteed with the...
Don't say it yet. Save it.
We'll tell you on the other side. It's Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? If you're the victim of a car crash, you will always speak to a lawyer. You'll always get the highest standard of care from our dedicated legal team, and we'll always fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Don't wait. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Hi,
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and when it comes to the NBA, I'm like a kid in a candy store. Tonight, it's the Heat and Hornets. Miami's looking to keep the buzz out of the building and stay hot in the East. We go live at 7 on your home for Heat basketball, ESPN 106.3.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in, we begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Go get it done. Green.
Where high octane meets the high banks. And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, one unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
The new state-of-the-art showroom at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach is now open. And let me tell you, it's amazing. If you're looking for a brand new 2020 to 2025 Kia, there is something for you. Every car has so many awesome features, it will be hard to pick just one. Plus, the safety tech and that unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. There's peace of mind in every mile. If you've been putting off car shopping, now's the time. Don't wait any longer. Get down to Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach, trade keys, and drive home a new Kia today. So, which one will you choose? See my friend Lonnie Mister at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach and find out why there are more Kias on the road every day. Call 800-NEW-KIAS or Lonnie at 561-433-1511 and check us out online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach, where your new Kia is waiting for you.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See kia.com or retailer for details.
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash. Enjoy unlimited inside and out hand washes for just $49.95 per month. And during January and February, if you join our club, you'll only pay $25 a month for the first 2 months and then $49.95 thereafter. For more info, call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. If your vehicle has issues with braking or other issues, get it fixed right now at St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
A journeyman no longer, a bridesmaid no longer. Sam Darnold, he now can go wedding dress shopping. He's been proposed to. Again, this from Adam Schefter of ESPN. Former Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold reached an agreement today on a 3-year, $110 million contract, including $55 million guaranteed with the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle has its successor to Geno Smith. For those that missed it over the weekend, another one of those deals that went by maybe the wayside with everything else happening, the Seahawks shipped off Geno Smith to the Vegas Raiders for a 3rd-round pick.
Pete Carroll gets his guy back.
Pete Carroll reunites with Geno Smith, and the Seahawks were unable to come up with a healthy contract extension to keep Smith in-house, especially after giving up on Metcalf, after trying to change up that roster. They decided, instead of paying him, we'll get a 3rd-rounder. We'll take our chances with Sam Darnold, who is coming off of a career year. A career year with the Minnesota Vikings, 35 touchdowns, 12 picks, 4,300 passing yards. Through the first 8 to 10 weeks, he was a leading MVP candidate in the NFL. Like, that was a serious conversation we were having. I would say it probably ended around week 8 or so, but he was a guy we were talking about. If we're going to have a very genuine, blind MVP test, Sam Darnold has the best numbers and the best record at that point in the season.
Yeah, at 14 wins in a division that might be a top 3 division in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was a very impressive season from Sam Darnold. Yes, the clock struck midnight at the worst possible time where his carriage turned into a pumpkin. The last 2 data points we saw of Sam Darnold, which you and I agreed, lost him a ton of money. Mike Tenenbaum did not agree with us, but we still held that, he was in line for a bigger deal than what he got from Seattle, but he still cashed out for a guy who was written off by most of football fans.
So here's why this is a key. This deal, and we'll go back over the numbers to talk about where this places Sam Darnold in the in the average per year and whatnot. We'll get through all of that. Sam Darnold, who we know his career, right? Drafted top 3 pick to the Jets 2018. Seeing goes 3 years with the Jets. It goes terribly wrong. He's throwing a lot of interceptions. He is a mess. The Panthers take a chance on him 3 or 4 games in. I remember as a Panthers fan back then, he looked great. Sam Darnold was doing it. He was tooling boys up. He was making plays with his legs and with his arm. It looked great, and that then fell off of a cliff as well. And the point in his career where he actually made a real shift, a real turnaround, was in 2023 when he landed with the San Francisco 49ers, and he was backing up Brock Purdy, right? That's when he was actually first connected with Clint Kubiak. Clint Kubiak, who was on the Niners staff then, is now the offensive coordinator with the Seattle Seahawks. So, if you're Sam Darnold, you're reuniting with a coordinator who you know very well, who helped get your game back on point so you can at least be a consistent, sustainable quarterback, a good bridge quarterback, and that's what the Vikings actually brought him in to be after that stint with the 49ers, and that panned out well. First of all, A+ on behalf of both Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings on what they were able to execute last year. Him having them 1 win away from the 1 seed in the NFC, not just winning their division, but remember, if they win that Week 18 game against the Detroit Lions, they are the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. They get a bye week going into the playoffs. He dribbled down his legs. He dribbled down his legs Week 18. To put things into consideration, though, I will say, banged up offensive line. They got a lot of pressure on him, and he folded. First game in the playoffs, then, now you have to play in the actual wild card round. You have to play your way into the divisional round, and we saw the same thing from Darnold as well. And those 2 games, I have to say, I have never seen a quarterback lose more money over a 2-game stretch that had nothing to do with injury in my lifetime watching the NFL. He's getting paid now the $110 million over 3 years. Again, $55 million guaranteed. That's actually kind of low. 110, 3 years, 55 guaranteed. It's around 36 a year.
Taking into consideration, which it's unfair to make this comparison because whenever you bring up Daniel Jones, you kind of tune out. Daniel Jones, when he won a playoff game with the Giants that offseason, he got 4 years at $40 million per year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Sam Darnold put together more wins in the regular season.
Bruh.
Just happened
Way better stat line, too. Remember, Daniel Jones' regular season was trash.
Yeah. He just gave them a playoff win.
They just
against
won.
Kirk Cousins and the Vikings.
If it was Kirk Cousins, man, that dude there has done some. Hey, we gonna have a conversation about Kirk Cousins. I don't want to get, I don't want to call him out of his name.
Has he done more harm or good for the NFL? Kirk Cousins.
Depends on who you're asking. Because he's gotten some people some bags. He's got himself and his family super rich off of mediocre play at best. And what he did to the Giants franchise.
He did it to the Falcons franchise, too. He prevented us a full season of Michael Penix Jr.
Kirk Cousins. I don't even want to get into it. We'll get back to that.
So 3 years, $36 million per year.
Yes. So
for Sam Darnold to the Seahawks.
When Darnold had everything rolling and when they were firing on all cylinders out there, with the Vikings, we were talking about, there's probably shows you can look up on YouTube, theoretically speaking, Sam Darnold. You search it. We were talking about this guy could be making $50 million a year next year.
With how the inflation was happening, with how the cap spike was coming, yes, he was on pace for that.
I look at the $50 million a year quarterbacks. It's Jalen Hurts, it's Lamar Jackson, it's Justin Herbert, it's Jared Goff, it's Tua Tagovailoa, it's Trevor Lawrence, it's Jordan Love, it's Joe Burrow, it's Dak Prescott. When I look at Love, Lawrence, Tua, Goff, and maybe even Hurts before he won the Super Bowl, those are 5 guys right there that you can tell me if Darnold would have closed it out in Week 18 against the Lions, and then Even if they lose the divisional round game, if he looked competent, if he was not the reason why they lost it, he's likely making $50 million a year because his resume stacks up seamlessly with some of those guys as Andy's young enough to be able to be invested in. Instead of $50 a year, he's now getting 36 years. So he lost at least $14 million with those 2 losses that he had and how bad of a performance he had in those 2 games. On top of him losing that, he goes from Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, what's my boy name with the dreads and the receding hairline? Running back. Aaron Jones. Sorry. That was crazy. That, hey.
Oh, man. Hey.
Oh, man. That was crazy. Now, Aaron, not only am I apologizing for forgetting your name in the moment, I apologize for that unnecessary stray. That was unnecessary.
Damn.
I don't know why I did that. I was trying to remember him by Aaron Jones. You go from that wealth of an offense and Kevin O'Connell to Seattle, where you just lost DK Metcalf. Your best receiver is now Jackson Smith-Njigba, which we have to see, can he actually be a viable number 1 that carries an offense? And you go into an uncertain situation because if Geno didn't want to stay 10 toes down there for the next 3 years, and reportedly the Seahawks actually offered him an extension to stay, and he preferred to not take it and then get shipped off, and he'll see what he can do in Vegas. If Geno didn't want to stay, what makes you think that you actually can be better than him? Sure. They're both the former Jets quarterbacks. They're both coming from that same kind of similar background, and they got ruined by the New York Jets franchise. They go somewhere else. They're revitalized. What makes you think that you're going to be able to supersede or outdo what Geno did with less weapons now?
Yeah, initially I walked into this segment thinking, okay, the Seahawks of last year, all these changes, they pretty much become the Seahawks of last year again in 2025.
Yeah.
But now it feels worse.
Yeah.
Now it feels worse with how many weapons they traded away. Maybe a good draft heals all wounds and they get cheaper. Maybe it works out. But I can't see a scenario where I'm more optimistic about the Seahawks this year than I was what they did last year.
They were like in prime position to actually win that division last year. Like the Seahawks, they were really, and then down the stretch, I don't remember if it was injuries or what happened, but they lost a game here and there. The Rams caught up to them. They surpassed them.
A couple of late game miscues and coin flip games that could have gone either way just didn't go their way.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see now where they're picking because I do believe now that you've made this move, you do have to prioritize either a offensive lineman or a wide receiver in the first round. Like best available between O-line and a wide receiver for the Seahawks because you want to surround Sam Darnold with talent because we've seen what it looked like when he's not. And you also don't want to feel like you've invested this much money into a guy and you take a step back. Now, speaking of money invested, 36 a year, not too bad. $55 million guaranteed. You can get off of that contract within 2 years. You likely can cut him after this year and not get hurt too bad. And if you're the Seahawks, maybe this is best case scenario because we've talked about which of the quarterback needy teams should be just rolling it over to next year to try and get somebody in the draft. If Darnold comes in, stinks to join up, you don't reinvest into your wide receiver room. Instead, you play smart long-term plays and you build around best player available and gear up for next year's draft. It's really like a win-win there. You got your bridge quarterback. You go out and draft a guy just like the Vikings just did with Darnold. They used him for 1 year. He actually outperformed all the expectations, and now they're turning to J.J. McCarthy. I don't know, man. This is a weird deal to kind of try and digest right now.
I think another winner in this deal, and maybe just a vindication, is the Buccaneers with the deal they signed Baker Mayfield to, which is 3 years, $100 million. Last offseason,
yeah, they got
him for a bargain.
If Sam Darnold signs this deal before Baker Mayfield gets into the negotiation room, he's making $40 million. Baker's getting a $40 million a year deal. He's proven much more than what Sam Darnold has done in his past couple of years, even this past season with all how the injury bug hit the Buccaneers and they did not miss a step.
Yeah, and like the lows of Baker's career, which were with the Browns towards the tail end, there's reasons for that. One, it's the Browns.
Yeah.
And two, it's injury. And three, he won more with the Browns than any other quarterback with the Browns in the past 3 decades.
Whew. I'm looking at where he stands. Sam Darnold going to get paid more than Baker Mayfield, right under what Derek Carr is getting paid. He, in fact, is getting paid $36 a year. Aaron Rodgers last year, $37.5. It's a fair deal on both sides. if you're Sam Darnold and you have confidence in what you can be as an NFL quarterback and you're hopeful to actually make something out of this, you're kind of in a good situation because with the Vikings, if you fail, it was all on you because of all of the weaponry around you and whatnot. If he has a mediocre year with the Seahawks, we can look at the roster as currently constructed and say, well, what was he supposed to do? What was he supposed to do in that division where they're the third best team at best now, and the Cardinals are only getting better, not worse, now that they, of course, already have Murray signed. They have a second-year Marvin Harrison Jr. Michael Wilson looks good as a receiving target. They've got a couple of backs back there that look strong. Like, they are probably the fourth most talented team in their division. Anything that he does this year is kind of house money.
And, yeah, a franchise tag with the Vikings. Do you think he would have preferred that?
No.
Or no?
No.
Like the 3 years of security for $4 million less per year.
Yes,
although you could make the case, yes, J.J. McCarthy's there, but if he wins 14 games again next year, and maybe he doesn't look as pathetic at that tail end of the season, you're in for a bigger payday, maybe still with the Vikings.
Problem would be his leash. The problem would be his leash.
It's a healthy
in
J.J.
Minneapolis.
McCarthy behind him, yeah.
And with a healthy McCarthy, that's why when McCarthy did tear the ACL or the meniscus or whatever it was in the preseason, I said that then, and we brought on our guy Ahmad Hicks, who's a sports anchor out there in Minneapolis, and we talked about it then. So that's kind of best case scenario for all parties involved. You don't force McCarthy out there too early. Sam Darnold doesn't have the rookie hanging over his shoulder, so if he does have one or two bad games in the first seven or eight, fans aren't calling for him. Sports talk radio isn't on your head coach's head trying to get the young guy out there. You have clarity. They got clarity. And I don't think that him on the franchise tag playing for a deal with the quarterback behind him, who the Vikings obviously feel strong about, invested their future into, I don't think that's a healthy environment for Sam Darnold. Seattle might be. We'll see what McDonald could do as a head coach with him. We'll see what Kubiak can do as an offensive coordinator. And most importantly, what they do this offseason in the draft, that's going to tell me everything I need to know about what they actually believe in Sam Darnold, or are they just using him as a bridge until they can maybe get Arch Manning?
Today is a good day to be St. Lucie Battery and Tire because we got something else for you that's going to come after the break.
Oh, you are
tickling.
Such a tease, C-Cat.
Sure am. Well, we're talking about the Seahawks, so it's kind of makes sense to talk about the Seahawks that are maybe a half mile away from the City Play Studios in West Palm Beach.
Why don't we, baby? How about this? If you like cars, if you like Seahawks, I can marry the two. Join Kaiser University on Saturday, April 5th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the Kaiser University Auto Show of the Palm Beaches. The flagship campus will be transformed into the latest and greatest auto showroom. Come and see your dream cars as vehicles from nearly every manufacturer. They're going to be on display, right? I mean, this is a dream world for a car lover. If you're really an auto enthusiast, pull up to this, please. You can browse the inventory in a no-stress, relaxed, and fun setting. And the Kaiser University Auto Show of the Palm Beaches is open to the public. Best of all, C-Cat, it is free. It is free. Saturday, April 5th, 10 a.m. at Kaiser University, the Kaiser University Auto Show of the Palm Beaches, free to the public. All you got to do is pull up. Kaiser University flagship campus, 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach. Call 561-478-5500 and tap in to get a free ticket to the Kaiser University Auto Show of the Palm Beaches. We'll see you on Saturday, April the 5th. Can you at least tell me what position, this latest news, what position is it, CK?
You got to know it's quarterback.
Oh, man, we got
another quarterback
news.
So, Theo, do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't know. I have not looked.
I'm going to read you this quarterback's contract, and you're going to tell me.
Oh, man.
You're going to take a guess before we go into break who I'm talking about.
Okay.
And it just erased from my phone.
Okay, so this is the contract that this quarterback just signed, I'm guessing.
Yep.
So Sam Darnold was the first domino to fall.
Sure was. The contract that was signed was 2 years, $40 million, $30 million guaranteed.
Oh, I think I know exactly who this is.
Really? What's your
I know
guess?
exactly who this is, and I think this contract was signed in Minneapolis. I think Daniel Jones.
You think Daniel? He was on the practice squad, wasn't he?
I think Daniel Jones. I'm just throwing it out there again.
So, listener,
I think Daniel Jones.
I know the answer.
Yeah.
That is a guess from Theo. We're going to find out the answer together on the other side.
All right. It's Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami FC on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Good people, it's Theo Dorsey. Spring training at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium is in full swing, but time is running out. Don't miss the Miami Marlins and St. Louis Cardinals before the regular season starts. Tickets, groups, birthdays, and more are still available, but not for long. Don't wait. Stop by the ticket office or visit RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com today. See you at the ballpark.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121, or visit tworld.com today.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Growing up, baseball and ESPN were hand in hand for me. I remember the legendary broadcast crew of John Miller and Joe Morgan. Those were core childhood memories for me, sitting in my grandfather's den, watching these baseball games and watching the games unfold all on ESPN. Well, that is coming to an end because ESPN and the MLB at the end of the 2025 season will be parting ways. This is going to leave Major League Baseball with a void to fill. They're going to need a network for the MLB to pick up. It's going to be interesting to see what Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball decide to do. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
Breaking news on ESPN 1063 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in, we begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 1063 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 1063 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 1063 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
Welcome to Recycle Right Trivia, sponsored by the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County. Question 1. What belongs in the yellow recycling bin?
Newspapers, cereal boxes, magazines?
Correct! Now, blue bin. What goes in there?
Plastic bottles, aluminum cans, glass jars?
You nailed it! Remember, Palm Beach County, recycle right and stay in the game for our planet.
Hey, ref, time out, man. All right, team, we're only down by 5. We can still win this. Grab some water and get back out there. Wait, no, not that water. That's full of contaminants and pharmaceuticals. You need Culligan water. With their free water test and reverse osmosis purification system, you'll have clean, refreshing water just like a slam dunk. Schedule your free consultation today at Culligan.com. Culligan, your partner for better water.
Hey, Culligan man!
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
What?
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
One man's trash, another man's treasure. Sometimes that's the story of NFL free agency, but I would use a different cliche for what I just heard, and that is a match made in heaven. You ready to deliver this breaking news courtesy of St. Lucie Battery and Tire?
Oh, I'd be honored to.
Let's get it crack.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. If your vehicle has issues with braking or other issues, get it fixed right now at St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
According to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, the Jets are signing quarterback Justin Fields to a 2-year, $40 million contract with $30 million guaranteed. And actually, NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport and Tom Pellisario, they both reported on that. 2 years, $40 million for Justin Fields, former Steelers, former Bears quarterback. He started the year for Pittsburgh 4-2. He had 5 passing touchdowns, I believe it was, only 1 interception. Ran it in 5 times. He was productive. He was not a detriment to the Steelers' offense, but he did get supplanted by Russell Wilson in Week 7 going forward, and we saw how that worked out. Some good, some bad. Justin Fields to the Jets. The Aaron Glenn era starts with a new starting quarterback. Out with the old, in with the new. C-Cat, you think this is like one of those toxic relationships where you're like, man, you know, the worst dude I know actually just hooked up with like maybe the most like insufferable woman I know.
Hey.
Wonder how that's going to work out.
I think that's being a little bit mean to Justin Fields in this aspect. No, because Justin Fields is not the worst dude I know. He's been dealt a pretty bad hand. No one's really succeeded post-Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. No one succeeded in general as a quarterback with the Chicago Bears. But you're kind of going to a quarterback wasteland in the Jets.
What's the last quarterback for the Jets that we would say we'll use the moniker they succeeded? They succeeded with the Jets.
I always forget his name.
Chad Pennington?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Chad Pennington was a good quarterback with the Jets.
Yeah.
I believe that was when Mike Tannenbaum was there as well.
No Tim Tebow love here?
No, not too much.
Okay. Geno Smith had a little run. I know it was bad.
He was there.
It was bad.
How about that?
So Chad Pennington was the last Jets quarterback we could say actually had success, some modicum of success, and even that came with its limits.
Well, you know, Mark Sanchez went to 2 AFC championships.
Right, but that's
tough. He had success. He wasn't a great quarterback.
There you go. He was not the reason for that team being what they were. That team was clearly driven by its defense. That team was stout at running the football and had a Rex Ryan identity that was hard to match up against, even for the New England Patriots that dominated that division and that conference for so many years. So that was a different case. In this case, that defense, this ain't no steel curtain, you know. That defense is good. It's got some great pieces. Aaron Glenn's going to come in there and try and put his stamp on that. Speaking of Aaron Glenn, he was part of some of those teams. But roll it back to what the actual deal was itself. 2 years for Fields, $40 million. That's $20 million a year to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. That is a bargain. Look at what the cap just spiked. The cap just spiked, and that tells you also what Fields' market was. But when you look at the average cost per quarterback, per year for starting quarterbacks, this would have been the lowest last year. Well, technically Sam Darnold was $10 million a year, but of course, you know, he was brought in there as a bridge. And then you had Gardner Minshew with the Raiders at $12.5 a year last year. The next highest between 12.5 as Gardner Minshew is Geno Smith was getting paid $25 million last year from the Seahawks. He couldn't even get Geno money, and that shows you how low his market was. And I do think the Steelers know they're settling into the dangerous situation. They didn't want Fields coming back.
So a lot of the reaction immediately online. Once this deal was announced online for Justin Fields to the Jets, everyone's pointing at Aaron Rodgers to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now that the succession plan that previously was Justin Fields of the Steelers is gone for Russell Wilson.
Don't say that man's name today. We're talking about players who can make an impact on their team next year. We're talking about competent pieces, free agency signings, big trade deals. We're not talking about no damn Aaron. I can't even say it. Aaron.
It's a weird defect in our airwaves.
That dude does not deserve any time on our airwaves today. He has done nothing to prove to us that he should. Last year, he had Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and a stout defense and a head coach before he got him fired that is good at getting the most out of his defense. And how many wins did he get? Less than Zach Wilson did the year before with the same team. Less weapons. That dude is not a franchise-altering player anymore. He is a cancer in the locker room and a detriment to most offenses.
You know what?
No Aaron Rodgers talk today.
Was this a move to make Garrett Wilson happy? Because Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson played together at Ohio State University.
I love it. And also, to be honest with you, if you're not going to have great quarterback play, at least have a guy back there that can make defenses think, make them add another extra defender in the run fit, because that can create some advantages where you didn't previously have them. Like, you can build an offense around a mediocre quarterback who is a dual threat QB, like Daniel Jones with Brian Daboll in 2022, like Anthony Richardson at times for Shane Steichen. And the peak of this is what you're able to do with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Now, he's a much better thrower of the football. But I do recall a time in which Justin Fields in college with that man that you named, Garrett Wilson, looked like a franchise quarterback, looked like a guy that you can drop back 30 times a game and win that way. I absolutely love this deal. If anything, I think the Jets got a bargain for Justin Fields.
Yeah, I guess if you are Aaron Glenn, the head coach of the New York Jets, that Mike Tannenbaum, who frequents these airwaves, took a part in hiring, the one classification, the one characteristic that he kept on repeating ad nauseum was, I want winners. So it feels like a half measure to me. It's not a win-now move, but it's also not a rebuilding move, getting Justin Fields and putting him in a New York Jets uniform.
Yeah.
Justin Fields didn't really win in the NFL. The team was better when he got benched for Russell Wilson with the Steelers, and he never won with the Bears. So I kind of think this is a half-committal win-now move. And if it's not a half-committal, it's just not a win-now move, but it's also not a rebuilding move.
Their offensive coordinator is Tanner Engstrand. I'm not even going to pretend to act like I know who that is.
Yeah, me neither.
So not going to get into the weeds of that, but this is going to be his coming out party in the NFL in a major way. He's going to have the opportunity to now try and leverage Fields, a good offensive line, a strong run game behind them, and Breece Hall and the Braylon Allen kid out of Wisconsin. Leverage that, plus having a true number one receiver like Garrett Wilson on the outside into a creative offense that can move the ball consistently enough to where you can actually be of benefit of having such a strong defense, right? Like, all you got to do is not turn the ball over and keep the chains moving if you're Justin Fields with these Jets. And I think everything is kind of in place. This is all going to fall on the shoulders of Tanner Engstrand, which some people are going to say, I don't know ball. One thing I do know is I will never cap to y'all. There's going to be some people that you might listen to or you might read on Twitter or whatever that are going to act like they've known Tanner Engstrand since he graduated high school.
Theo doesn't know Tanner Engstrand, but he wasn't watching New Mexico State last year. Like, there's going to be like some stuff like that out there. Tell me you don't watch ball.
And sure, if you're a Tanner Engstrand veteran, if you're a Tanner Engstrand truther, I'm sorry for offending you, and I'm sorry for the ball knowers out there that are in the weeds of coordinators and passing game coaches and all. I ain't got that kind of a bag. Sorry.
We're going to find out he's a Palm Beach County resident.
That's
guaranteed.
Gonna be sick. That's going to be sick.
Like, actually, he lives right down the road.
Right, yeah. Tanner Engstrand, actually. Me and him went to the same high school. But what I will say is this. Now the onus is on him because Fields is not getting paid the kind of money that would come with the level of pressure to succeed. The Jets, on the other hand, as well, did not invest the kind of money in them to where they need wins immediately and direct results out of him. This puts them in the prime position. Now that they've also re-signed the middle linebacker, Jamian Sherwood, Jensen Beach product, right? That's a South Florida guy. Shout to him. What was that, 3 years, $45 million? Huge deal for him. Now that they re-signed Jamian Sherwood, now that they have a new regime taking over, this is a perfect reset button. And I don't think there could be, just like with the Sam Darnold experience, which one do you have more faith in working out? And again, use the weight of the contract as also part of that barometer, right?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold for $36 million or Justin Fields for $20 million.
We're just going to work out better?
With those current teams and everything as things stand.
It's simply this. The Seahawks win when they shouldn't, and the Jets lose when they shouldn't.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with the Seahawks because I don't have a good vibe about it right now. It doesn't make me feel good, but they just stack W's when you don't see it coming. And the Jets, when they should be winning games, they simply don't.
I believe the last 2 years there was a dark shadow cast over the Jets organization, and it went by the name of Aaron Rodgers. He was brought in there to be the savior, and he was the exact opposite. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't say that name.
Yeah.
Can't say that name.
Voldemort.
He was brought in here to be the savior, but Aaron ruined that franchise. If Aaron Glenn is the guy that he says he is, he'll bring the Jets back to prominence. He remembers the glory days.
That was a good voice acting there. The way you stumbled into the word rot, it sounded like you got possessed.
Hey man, I've been doing TV for like a decade, man. Been in radio for a couple of years. I do this. Man. My voice is one of my best characteristics. Happy hour time. It's happy hour time. Damn it, my clock doesn't work on this computer. So happy hour's on the other side. We got to bring Tina in. Tina has a story to tell.
And we will cut her off if something happens.
Yes, we will. We will cut into the story if breaking news happens in the NFL. Again, it is the opening day of actual NFL free agency with the tampering period being open. We will give you NFL news as it comes, but Tina has a story to tell that has unlocked a new irrational fear for me. And maybe it's not irrational because, damn it just happened to her boyfriend over the weekend.
Went to the freaking emergency room last night.
I honestly, after reading what she sent us in the group chat, like I will be walking around in certain environments with both hands over my ears like earmuffs. Like in certain environments, I'm like, no way, Jose, not to me. Ain't happening today. We'll talk about what that was and how the hell they got out of that situation and why it took an ER visit on the other side in the happy hour, plus more NFL free agency and trade news here on Theoretically Speaking. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We are live on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Time now for the Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. Every Player of the Week is eligible to win a scholarship at the end of the year. This year, a $25,000 scholarship will be awarded to an athlete, with $10,000 going to the winner's high school athletic department. Land Rover Palm Beach, above and beyond. Here's Cade Chumsland.
Our Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week is Cardinal Newman baseball star Finn Durant. After letting the lead slip away while on the mound in the top of the 7th inning against Martin County, Finn started the bottom of the inning with a single, which ultimately was the tying run leading to a victory for the Crusaders. Here he is on how to shake off those previous mistakes in order to clutch up.
Usually I just think that, God puts me in this position, to make a comeback and, not to get angry at myself when stuff like this happens. And when I get an opportunity to come up and get a hit for our team, get on base and score the run, it's huge.
Congratulations, Finn, on being selected the Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week.
The roar of the engines, the heat of battle, the thrill of NASCAR is back at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd, 3 days of non-stop, heart-pounding action as the stars of NASCAR take on South Florida's most intense mile-and-a-half track. Make sure to tune in to Theoretically Speaking and Russo and Rizzo, because we are giving away tickets. If you don't win, make sure to get your tickets at HomesteadMiamiSpeedway.com.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and when it comes to the NBA, I'm like a kid in a candy store. Tonight, it's the Heat and Hornets. Miami's looking to keep the buzz out of the building and stay hot in the East. We go live at 7 on your home for Heat basketball, ESPN 106.3.
Cruise the campus, explore the circuit, experience F1 in Miami like never before. Your general admission ticket to the 2025 Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix is here. Immerse yourself in the action with unparalleled access to different campus zones. Enjoy thrilling activities, live entertainment, and endless food and beverage options while witnessing the race, all for less than $150 per day. Visit F1MiamiGP.com to secure your spot at the 2025 Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix, the race that's an experience.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. We're back. It's the happy hour, baby. It's Theo Dorsey. Big Teddy in the house. C-Cat on the other side of the glass on the ones and the twos. And Tina is here with a story that had me cringing. Even when I just read the damn thing. Espresso Martinez in the house. You've got to, we're going to get to this thing ASAP here because I need reaction from it. I also probably need some pointers from some of our fans of Theoretically Speaking on how I can go about not getting myself into this situation. But with all that being said, before we get into story time, how was your weekend?
My weekend was really good. Besides what I'm about to tell you, it was an eventful weekend.
Yes.
Overall, though, really good.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Of course, we had a lot of groundbreaking deals in the NFL, the Josh Allen extension, the Myles Garrett extension. You had trades left and right. Geno Smith is with the Raiders now. The Seahawks today, we just learned, picked up Sam Darnold. Justin Fields, we just talked about, is a New York Jet. Like, it's crazy motion around the NFL. And the fact that we are starting the happy hour off with what happened on an eventful, what was it, Saturday or Sunday?
It was Saturday night.
On an eventful Saturday night for Tina, let you know just how ridiculous and nonsensical and frightening whatever the hell y'all went through was. So Tina, this is necessary. Before we get into it though, we're gonna get into it right now. I do want to tell y'all a place to go because you already know with all the movement in the NFL, people are gonna wake up in August, September. They're gonna be like, well, I want to watch all of these games at once. And then as they're watching, they're like, well, I'm looking at this one TV. What the hell is he doing in that uniform? And I thought DK Metcalf was on the Seahawks. He's on the freaking Steelers now. Like, the best place to do that then and even now to watch games left and right, Duffy Sports Grill. 80 or more televisions in every single location. Duffy Sports Grill, once again, best voted sports grill in 2024. They've got the award-winning burgers, the award-winning wings. They got the weekday lunch. Call this a double play, a Duffy's double play. Duffy's double play, $7.99. That's very affordable. And, of course, you got 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day with Duffy's Sports Grill. That is the place to be. That is the action you want to be tapped in on. And that is where you're going to want to be when these games start going in college. You know what's coming up here. You know what month it is. You know college action is coming to your television screens left and right. Duffy Sports Grill, the best place to enjoy all of the action in the college scene, if you know what I mean, on the hardwood. Duffy'sMVP.com, that's where you can go to tap in, find the Duffy's nearest to you. At Duffy's, our game is always on. Okay, Tina. So, you didn't tell us about this until this morning, but you've been dealing with this since Saturday night. Can you just start with where the heck y'all were, what you were doing on Saturday night that put you into this awkward predicament?
Yes, I didn't tell you Saturday night yet because I feel like I needed the person that this happened to give me approval first to talk about it.
Understandable.
It's like a freak thing that happened. And so we can now all laugh about it, which is great.
Uh-oh.
And
oh. Yeah, it does give me that.
Freaky.
It is scary.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
So on Saturday night, my boyfriend and I had plans to go to our friend's house to make homemade margaritas and protein pizza.
That's pretty good.
Yes, protein pizza.
Sounds good. They're health nuts. They're health nuts.
Yes,
you can't let them live. They're health nuts.
we are. They're really good pizzas. And we get there. My friend realizes her ice maker machine isn't working, and we obviously need a lot of ice to make these margaritas. So my boyfriend and her husband end up going to the store to grab some ice and to grab some more limes for the margaritas. Me and my friend stay back. We're prepping the margaritas. We're prepping the pizza, getting everything ready. She has a charcuterie board. I'm eating all the cheese and meats off of it as we're talking and everything. And right as they get back from the store, my boyfriend walks in and he goes, "A moth just flew into my ear and is in my ear right now."
What?
A moth.
How does he know that the moth flew in his ear?
So he said when he was getting into his car from leaving the store that he felt something like go into his ear, and kind of like your reaction, you're like swatting your ear, you're trying to like, what is that? What is that? You know? He felt that, and then he could feel in his ear like its wings moving.
Oh my God.
And he said it felt like, when you like go in a pool or something, you feel like there's water in your ear and like you're trying to like shake your head out. So that's what he was doing. Like that's what it felt like. That's what he said.
He's over there tapping his head like on the other side doing the get the water out of my ear motion.
He was about punching himself in the head at one point because he was like, I just need this out. Like this is so uncomfortable. So my friend's husband actually was a firefighter. And he's like, okay, like let's try. We start Googling all these things to do. So we try multiple home remedies to try and figure out how do we get this moth out of the ear.
What are home remedies to get a moth out of your ear? Is this
Dinner and
normal?
Margs are on a full pause at this moment. We're trying to like have Margs, but we're also trying to figure out like this is kind of crazy. Like how do we deal with this?
How many Margs deep were y'all? Because you got some pre-dinner Margs going.
We're only the night just started. I wasn't even 2 sips into my margarita.
Were you kind of mad at him? Like really?
Kind of. You got to be.
Maybe a little.
What the hell are you doing? We send you to get 1 or 2 things. You come back with a damn moth in here. You ruined the night.
Maybe a little. But we start looking up, Googling, like, how do we get moths out of someone's ear? Like, how do you get bugs out of someone's ear?
It's definitely not the first time it's happened, so that's a good Google.
Yes. So, first thing we do, and this is really like the guys doing it. My friend and I stay in the kitchen and we're just like trying to like, okay, like let's like slowly prep the margs and the pizza. Like this will eventually be over.
Yeah.
We expect this to be done in 10 minutes. Like the first thing we try, we're expecting to work.
What's the first thing?
First thing we do is they get a flashlight and they're like, moths are attracted to light. So they're like, maybe if we get like a flashlight and put it in his ear, the moth will come out. That doesn't work. Second
Was the
thing,
moth still alive at this point?
Oh, yes. He said he could feel it. Feel its wings like going, like it was moving.
Making himself at home.
Yes, it was making himself at home.
If I'm him, I'm like, forget the margarita. Give me 8 shots of that tequila y'all got.
Oh, he's like, if once this moth is out, be prepared for tequila shots.
So when is it?
Once the moth is out, I need it now.
We talk about traditional guy and girl responsibilities in relationships or in life. Since when is moth removal a guy duty? Like, what's that about? I feel like we're drawing this line, and it's a little bit questionable.
It's in his ear.
Okay.
I'm saying, like,
the ladies should not be making the margaritas.
Yeah.
You know, the smaller hands, smaller fingers probably can get a leg of it and pull it out.
Well, again, my friend's husband was a firefighter.
Oh, he's a
so
firefighter. That's what changes everything. They're heroes.
He I feel like is a little more gentle, like steadier hand, like
that is not true.
He's trained to deal with all kind of random circumstances.
He works with the jaws of life. That's not gentle and dainty.
Sometimes they get cats out of trees.
He's also really good though at dealing with people who are like they're stressed
Yes.
out and like calming them down.
His
and
expertise.
so he was perfect to handle this.
Good job, firefighter,
Yes.
former firefighter. Was it an honorable discharge from firefighting?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
good.
So
Number 2 home remedy.
What's your number 2 home remedy?
Number two was usually when you're trying to get out, like, I don't know if you try this before, like earwax, you use peroxide. And you pour peroxide in your ear to get, like, to loosen up the earwax. And usually then when you tip your head over, like, it, like, comes out.
Okay.
We tried peroxide. We're like, okay, now, like, maybe let's just drown this moth. Let's just drown him. We need to kill the moth because it's obviously driving him crazy as it's moving in his ear.
Bio war. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we tried peroxide. So, and we're also hoping, like, maybe this peroxide will get the moth to kind of, like, float to the top of his ear.
So could you see the moth in his ear?
I never saw it.
Oh, my gosh. The moth is that deep in him?
But my friend's husband swore he saw it. We are literally, me and my friend's husband are, like, standing over him as the peroxide in his ear, and we're just waiting. Like, we have flashlights on. We're just waiting for this fly, moth, whatever it is, to rise to the top of his ear
and it never
into the peroxide.
So you
never
were not.
happened.
You were 0 drinks deep.
Again, like half a margarita. I was like a few sips in. It was not a lot.
I have a perfect home remedy that you have not used yet, but I want to hear if you eventually use it.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Number 3, because that didn't work, right?
That did not work.
Okay.
Number 3.
So then we first think of this. We don't end up doing it. Google's told us to get a Q-tip, cotton swab, and honey.
Oh,
and try to put the Q-tip in his ear, and that the honey would like get a hold of the moth fly, and it would come out. I don't know why they didn't try that. The honey was out. The honey somehow ended up everywhere.
So you did bring honey out.
We brought honey out.
Why didn't you put it in his ear?
I don't know. I don't know what I was doing that I didn't know why they didn't do it, but I know that the cotton swab and the honey
were out. You got through that first margarita.
Yes.
You got through the first margarita. That's what happened.
So then,
isn't there a song about that?
We Google.
Yes, give me one margarita.
Got a moth in my head.
Yeah.
Then,
oh my God.
It's like when you spill the honey.
Remix. So
you're pouring honey down a guy's ear. That's what level of margarita do you get to when you're pouring honey down your boyfriend's ear?
So then,
stop her before that.
Google tells us to do warm vegetable oil. And I immediately go, this seems wrong. I don't feel like this is right. That I don't think you're supposed to put oil in someone's ear.
Y'all about to take his hearing away for life.
Right. I'm scared. I'm like, okay, we're on 3 or 3 at this point. Yeah. And
Number 4.
We decide though, I Google some more and everything is saying vegetable oil.
Vegetable oil is number 4.
Everyone is saying vegetable oil. Google is approving vegetable oil is good. We warm up some vegetable oil and it has to be in there for about 10 minutes. So we warm up some vegetable oil. We gently pour this into his ear. And we're standing over him. And I'm just like casually eating cheese off the charcuterie board and
God.
Pepperoni and stuff. And we see bubbles start coming up and we're like, oh, this moth or fly is definitely dying at this point or gasping for breath, like air, like it has to be dying.
Yeah.
And maybe it's floating to the top now. 10 minutes go by. No moth.
Nothing.
No fly.
Is he just like, while y'all are waiting, is he just like hanging out like sideways?
Yes, his head is literally just like on the table, just sitting there.
Still no margaritas for him.
Still no. We did give him a margarita and we put a straw up to his mouth so he could have some.
Little sippy sip.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're 4 home remedies in and he's aggravated. He's annoyed. He's like, I just want this out of my ear.
Rightfully so.
And he's like, I can't eat pizza or enjoy margaritas right now.
Right.
I need to get this out.
Is it still fluttering the whole time?
I think at this point it stopped. At this point, I think it's dead at this point.
Oh,
because we did peroxide actually twice. Because we were like, okay, maybe we need to leave it a little bit longer. Like it says you have to leave it in for so many minutes for like when you're doing with earwax for it to like soften up. So we did peroxide actually twice. So we're a few home remedies in. It's not working. The fly is still in his ear.
Oh.
So we have to make a trip to the emergency room.
Number 5.
That was
The geniuses figured it out. They said, "Oh, let's get some doctors involved."
Yes.
You know, I think you left something on the cutter room floor that should have been used. Vacuum.
So someone said that to me today.
You can suck his brain out, though.
But
Wow.
I don't think there's a small enough tool in a vacuum to do that.
No, yeah, if you get one of those adapters, that is a smart idea. I got a Dyson.
Or you create it. You just tape the front of it and you make it smaller.
I would have used the vacuum.
Vacuum seems like the play
Well,
here.
Google did not say vacuum. Google had that
You should
nowhere.
use ChatGPT.
Or you should use it like, when people break their key when it's really cold and when you try to turn the lock, the key stays in the lock so you actually can't get it. You heat up a hot glue stick, then you hold it against the ear, and then it sticks when it dries. Then you pull it out of his ear. Have you ever heard of that remedy to get a key out of the keyhole?
Never heard of that. I think you would do permanent brain damage to him if you tried that, though. Hot glue in his ear?
I'd rather have hot glue in the ear than a moth in my ear.
That's true.
Yes.
He's not wrong.
He's not
But
wrong.
I'd rather not have both, and that might be the end
Yes.
result.
That could have been it.
Yes. So you went to the ER.
We go to the ER, and the first thing.
Oh, that's a night. That's a buzzkill, by the way. He ruined your night.
Well, at this point, I'm
Or
like,
the moth did.
Well, and now that we can laugh at it, it did ruin the night, but it was a freak accident.
It is.
How you would never think this would happen. And even when we checked in, the woman, when he signed in, he was like, I'm going to sound crazy, but there's a moth in my ear.
She probably thought y'all was high.
She was like, really? And she goes, you should go buy a lottery ticket. This is uncommon.
I ain't gonna lie. If she said that to me as I'm after an hour and a half, or I don't know how long it was of dealing with a moth in my ears, you getting sarcastic and getting one-liners off on me.
Let's cut to the chase here. I want not using it. I'm saying if I'm your boyfriend and I have a moth in my ear, I'm like, all right, let's save the remarks. Let's get to business.
Bro,
we had the most.
I ain't gonna say what I would do.
We had the most silent car ride from my friend's house to the emergency room. I didn't want to talk because I was like, he's annoyed, and he should be.
Yeah.
He should be. And then we had the slowest driver in front of us. They had no urgency, going under the speed limit. It was just the slowest car ride, quietest car ride we've ever had. We get to emergency room, we check in. She says that, makes that joke, whatever. We get in pretty fast. The first nurse that sees us.
Someone bleeding out to your left saying, sorry, moth. You get it? Yeah, okay.
Oh my God, it was a drive-by. Can you help, please?
Got a moth in
this
his
guy
ear.
has a moth in his ear.
Lottery ticket situation.
Yeah.
We
All
can't
right,
miss this.
Get him first. Please, me next.
The nurse sees us and we tell him, I have a bug in my ear. He was like, oh, okay. He then gets a magnifying glass, puts it in his ear, and he goes, you are not kidding. I see it. And then he asked me, he goes, do you want to see it? And I go, yeah. And so he puts it up to where I can see it. I look in and I can see this moth in his ear.
Oh, was it dead by then?
I didn't see it moving. I would think. I
Yeah,
think
it
it
was
was
gone.
dead.
It was
It
gone.
had to have been
Yeah.
dead. It was
I mean, all
drowned
that
by
peroxide and honey,
peroxide,
yeah.
vegetable oil, the flashlight, all the things we did. It had to have been dead by this
At least
point.
he got a little last flashlight
That's true.
treatment before on his way out. The moth loves those.
Like,
so.
if he was alive, would the doctor or physician or whatever, kill it when he got it out?
I don't know.
I feel like you deserve that if you're a moth.
I ain't gonna lie. I would, if I'm the doctor and I pull a live moth out of somebody's ear, this is what I would do. No, I wouldn't kill it. I would put the moth on the table and I would walk out of the room. I'll say, handle your business. I ain't gonna tell nobody. Handle your business. Look, turn the lights off. Except for the one light on the moth. Give him a couple of utensils, whatever he wants to eat. Handle your business. I'll walk out. Give you your privacy.
Great crime drama where it's the father of someone accused. Listen.
Yeah.
Turn the camera off.
Hey. Street justice, baby. So, no, the moth was dead.
The moth was dead.
Okay.
So we see the moth.
You didn't even have to handle business.
Yeah, no, the moth was dead.
Mm-hmm.
We killed it by probably all the peroxide and the vegetable oil, which the hospital did confirm that the vegetable oil was a good thing to do.
Okay, good.
I was worried that he was going to have damage to his ear or his brain because of this vegetable oil. But no, it was all
vegetables are good for you.
Yes. So then the doctor finally sees us. The doctor sees the moth, and he has to go through, he gets his, plastic syringe, and he fills it with water, and he has to, flush out his ear. He basically is, putting water in and then taking it out and then putting it in, hoping that, this would, get the moth to basically, come to the top and whatnot. That doesn't work. He does that twice. Doesn't work.
I've had that, by the way, back in the day. I need the ear drainage. I hate the feeling of that.
Oh,
So,
he said it was so uncomfortable.
it feels like somebody is, slightly stabbing your brain and there's a water. It's weird.
Yes.
So how many people are in this room right now, in the operation room?
It was me, him, the doctor, and then I think she was probably she was following this doctor around, not a nurse, but she was
maybe a nurse practitioner or something.
Something, yes.
Yeah, or maybe
she was taking
an
notes.
apprentice, yeah.
I would say more of probably an apprentice.
Okay.
So it was just 4 of us.
Yeah.
And so then they decide to look in his ear again, and they still see it, and he gets this Q-tip that is at least a foot long.
Yeah.
And they just start sticking this Q-tip in his ear, trying to get it out. He said it felt like his brain was being stabbed.
That's what I'm saying.
It
that
was
is
so
the
uncomfortable.
Worst. They would have to put me to sleep.
Yes, very uncomfortable for him. The
So
moth.
embarrassing.
Give me your strongest stuff, Doc.
Yeah,
I'm out
yes.
here.
Waking up did they get it?
Then,
oh my God.
at this point, the moth is in pieces in his ear.
Oh.
In pieces. And they're like, we didn't get it all the way out. There's still legs and pieces of the moth in your ear. So then they try to drain it out again. There's still we has to lay there for 20 minutes with his head off to the side, and they put more liquid in it. And as this is happening, this nurse comes in to check us out, and she's asking him all these questions. He's like, I can't hear you, because his one ear is is on this
Right.
chair, and then the other ear is just full with this liquid.
He's pissed.
Oh yeah, it's by this point it's 11:45 at night. We've been there for quite some time, and we ended up eventually leaving, and he has antibiotics. His ear is definitely a little bit bruised. He can hear. He's all fine. But what an event.
His ear is definitely bruised. His ear's got more play over this weekend than it's ever gotten. Here's the question, too, though. So is there still little bits and pieces of this moth left behind in his ear? Did they get it all out?
They said with the antibiotics, everything would then come out.
Okay, so it'll break down.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Well, then that is a successful story. Congratulations. Modern medicine does work.
Yeah.
It does work. Now, I would have assumed modern medicine and Western medicine was a little bit more advanced than a long Q-tip and a syringe packed with water. But, hey, we got out of there.
Yeah, we did.
That is absolutely insane. And I can say that of all of the weird, irrational fears I have, this is one of them. Whenever I push an elevator button and it's about to open up and I'm about to walk in, I'm always a little bit afraid that somebody in the elevator is going to be ready to stab me.
Oh my
So I'm
God.
always prepared for it. I have never been stabbed.
That new viral trend, yeah.
I'm undefeated
Did a
at
movie do
avoiding
that to you?
stabbings. I don't know what it is. I can't shake it either. I'll tell myself, I'll be like, it's not real. It's not a real thing. Nobody's going to stab you. You've been in 1,638 elevators. You've been stabbed 0 times. But every time I push an elevator door and I'm the first to walk in, I'm worried about somebody in there with a knife.
Maybe you're due.
I might be. And you know what? When the moment comes and that person tries to stab me, look at how the tables are going to turn, because I've practiced this a million times, the many things I'm going to do. First of all, you hit a Chris Berman, whoop, and you move your body to the left while you swipe down with the right, and you knock the knife out of his hands. And now he's like, why were you prepared for that? And I'm like, buddy, I've been preparing for this my whole life.
The whole thing he thought was the element of surprise, and that is taken out immediately.
Because that's the thing. If you're gonna be in an elevator and you're gonna stab somebody as soon as they open it up, which, by the way, don't do that. I would tell people to don't do that. That's your friendly advice here from Theoretically Speaking. You're not expecting them to expect it.
Wow.
Your element of surprise. You know what I'm saying? So I would be prepared for that situation, and C-Cat, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. And all this talk about moths kind of made me afraid of winged animals.
I hate winged animals.
Winged animals are scary, especially when they win Super Bowls, especially when they prevent a three-peat. And one of their pass rushers just got paid by a winged animal.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St.
You weren't
Lucie
expecting
Battery
that.
and Tire.
I wasn't. I
If
hate
your
winged
vehicle
animals,
has
so I was-
issues with braking
I was
or
locked
other
in with my
issues,
twin.
Get it fixed right now
All right.
at St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
No more moth talk.
You know, I thought for 5 minutes how I was going to deliver that and transition that, and I did not stick the landing.
That was pretty good, though. That was really good. You got me.
Josh Sweat, who many think should have won the Super Bowl MVP.
Likely.
2.5 sacks. Is that what he had?
2.5
against
sacks.
The Chiefs.
And he was the one that affected Patrick Mahomes on the interception to Cooper DeJean, the pick six.
Josh Sweat got a 4-year deal worth $76.4 million, 41 of that guaranteed.
Okay.
And the team that gave it to him, the Arizona Cardinals. Another winged animal.
I was like, did the Falcons really spend up on a pass rusher finally? I was getting kind of excited for him. The Cardinals, Josh Sweat to the Cardinals.
It's more of the story is Josh Sweat not to the Eagles. Yeah, right. That's kind of what I got.
What the other part of that story is, and that's some great breaking news courtesy of St. Lucie Battery and Tire. The other part of that story is we all collectively as an NFL audience assumed he would get overpaid. His value would be increased because of his performance in the Super Bowl, and people wouldn't look at the whole scope of things. And though he was the top premier free agent pass rusher, I think that's a pretty fair deal. 4 years, what, $76 million?
Mm-hmm.
That's not even up to $20 million a year. I think the estimate that was put out there by a lot of insiders was around 20 a year. That's right under 20, I think around 18 or 19. That's a fair market deal for a guy that can obviously be a game wrecker depending on the situation. Now, it's going to be a lot different in Arizona. You ain't going to have all of them beefed up dudes and all them Georgia Bulldogs next to you to kind of take up and eat up blocks. But he'll still get some good stuff off the edge for him.
Yeah, I would be a little bit cautious from the Cardinals just on the sheer fact that if the Eagles didn't want to pay him, if he was one of the guys they didn't choose to pay and extend from the Super Bowl winning roster, what do they know that I don't know? Because the Eagles spent a lot of money post-Super Bowl committing to a couple of the guys that contributed to that win, and Sweat was not one of them. And I know you can't pay everybody all the money, and there is this cap on the salary, but I don't know. That's something to think about. It's almost like when you make a trade with the Chiefs, consider, like Evan Cohen said, it's almost like making a trade with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Like, they know something I don't, and I might be being taken advantage of right now. And this isn't a trade. It's just a contract signing, but the Eagles chose not to sign him. The Cardinals did.
Look at the last time a edge rusher that had a prolific year with the Eagles left. I think that was via trade, actually, but left the Eagles to another organization based off of that production. And I look right back to last year's Hassan Reddick.
Mm-hmm.
Hassan Reddick to the Jets. They trade him off. Instead of paying Hassan Reddick, they trade him to the Jets for, I believe, like a third rounder or a second rounder. And not only did the dude not show up, when he did show up, he wasn't that effective, and the Eagles more than effectively replaced him. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal that the Eagles lose him. But I think that for both teams, this doesn't really impact them in the wins and loss column that much. This is more of a salary cap allocation thing for both sides. It's never going to hurt your budget to address full on something that is impacting you, your health, your comfortability, and even your enjoyment, like Culligan can.
Hey, Culligan man!
Talking about improving your water quality, people. We live in Florida, the great state of Florida, the sunshine state. I mean, all these wonderful things about it, but one thing that's not so wonderful is the quality of water that enters your home. Like, I don't know if you know what your system is, your water system is, but what you should do if you're like me is get a free water test from Culligan Water, a free water test, and see if you can use a water softener system. Or maybe you would benefit from the reverse osmosis system. I have both in my home, and it's been, about a month and a half or so, and I have loved every bit of it. I show off how I can get the pure drinking water out of my sink. My ice that comes out of my freezer now is all purified through that reverse osmosis system. And then outside, I got the water softener. That's improved so many things. My skin has been much improved because I'm not washing my face with hard water anymore. Those minerals in the hard water that can cause not just for your shower doors and whatnot to be dirty, but also for your skin to have more acne and whatnot. You're like, dang, I'm doing my skincare routine twice a day.
My girlfriend says that's the biggest thing. Fellas, if you're listening right now, if you're watching right now, ask your significant other, if you do not have Culligan right now, do you like the water and what it does to your hair? And they will say, absolutely not. Can we fix that? Listen to Theo right now.
The hair, Tina, the hair with hard water.
Spot on. Because my hair girl, she asked me a question the last time I saw her. She was like, do you have a filter on your shower head because your hair is discoloring? I was like, no. She's like, you need to get one.
Yeah.
Florida has the hardest water.
Yes. It has and I didn't even realize this until I learned about Culligan. And that's why I told them I have to tell other people about this ASAP.
Yes.
Culligan's been doing this since 1936. They've also been helping the local community. They are nationwide as well. So if you're listening on the stream on YouTube, on your app, you can also say,
hey, Culligan man!
Go to Culligan.com. Go to Culligan.com. Tell them Theo sent you. And also just get the free water test so they can come into your home and show you what your water could be like versus what it is currently. You'll be thoroughly impressed. It changes everything from the way that you wash your clothes to the way that you wash your dishes to to the way that you have effectiveness washing your face, and of course the purified drinking water, you know how that could be a benefit of you. You don't want those contaminants and pharmaceuticals that are in the water to get into your bloodstream, get into your body or your kids or your wife. Culligan.com. Culligan.com. Get tapped in. Just say,
Hey, Culligan man.
all right, C-Cat, we got to get to some of this NFL news. The moth talk was great. The moth talk was very enlightening, and I do have a new fear unlocked, and I am not going to lie. Like, that is, I don't say that in jest. I am serious. That is absolutely frightening.
What's worse, ear or eye?
I'd rather get it in my eye.
Really?
I'd rather get it in my eye because I think it's easier to flush it out of your eye.
I don't
Now, if
know. I
it's
feel
stuck
like
in
you
my eye-
feel every little thing that happens to your eye, and the moving around. It hasn't happened to me before. Moth in the ear, but I've gotten gnats in my eyes, and I hate that.
That's true, and I think a moth, a big old moth, almost a moth is
The mother
probably
of all
too
moths.
big to get in there in a
Yeah.
place where I can't also help get it out. Whereas your ear, it's the hole.
Yes.
Once it goes in and gets
You
stuck
can't
in
see
there,
it.
it's
Inaccessible. Yeah.
It is. Woo-wee. And I can just sit there over the sink and just wash my eyes out all day. I'll get one of those little science. Did y'all ever do the eye wash in your science classes back in the day?
No, I've always wished someone got something in their eyes so we could see what it looks like. Or like use the shower in case someone spills something.
Yeah.
What heavy-duty chemicals are we using in high school that need something that dramatic?
I don't know. I think it just looks cool. So I didn't do it full out because I'm also a coward. Is the reason why even if I do have glasses, I would never be able to get the contacts. My wife does contacts every morning. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. Could not touch my eyes. But me and my buddies one time after class, don't tell Miss Kilgard. We pulled the little thing and the water started shooting up, and he kind of did it. And I kind of got close to it, and I closed my eyes and just let it hit the outside of my eyes. I couldn't do it. Couldn't rock with it. That's another irrational fear. I hate things touching my eyeballs. On the other side, more NFL news. Also, the great debate. What was a better acquisition, DK Metcalf or Devontae Adams? Metcalf, of course, going to the Steelers. Devontae Adams to the Rams. We decide on the other side. That's C-Cat. That's Tina. Keep your ears covered. The moths are hovering. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami FC on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Boys, if you're seeing this, the unthinkable has happened.
Bubba's dead?
This is how your father's business works. The life of crime and the life of this deli.
You were born into this. Dad was a murderer. We could go to jail. We're innocent.
We'd be the first innocent brown people in jail. Oh my God.
There's a gun in the credenza. Finish him off now.
What?
What part of this are you not understanding?
Credenza, if I'm being honest, I don't think I know what that is.
Deli Boys. All episodes are now streaming on Hulu.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
As market dynamics change, the quality of service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Heat, now the new home of Inter Miami. Catch all the games and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2025 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2025 Defender 110 P300S for just $889 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Lithium batteries need to be disposed of properly. We've seen fires in recycling and garbage facilities here in Palm Beach County. Don't throw your lithium batteries into the garbage and don't put them in your recycle bins. Visit us at swa.org/LIB.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
It's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. It is about that time. You know what time I'm talking about. The days of it being chilly outside in the morning and the evening. Yeah, we're running out of those. We are almost to the Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March, because around South Florida, that also means the temperature starts turning up on you. Now, you ain't going to end up like Julius Caesar did in the Ides of March, but what I can promise you is you might feel like him if your thermostat starts reading 85, 86, 87, 88, starts getting a little too hot in your house. You're like, oh, this might be worse than everybody coming together and getting the brother and turning on the brother, because that is a symbol of your air conditioning unit failing on you. To fix that, EDSIsYes.com. EDSIsYes.com. Is your air or water flowing perfectly in your home? If the answer is no, EDS is yes. They are Palm Beach County's trusted AC and plumbing expert. I've been a Gold Plan member with EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing for now going on 2 years. We're coming up on a 2-year anniversary of such. And the perfect thing about the Gold Plan is you get a percentage off of repairs. You get 2 checkups per year. And in each of those checkups, they will do some preventative work as well as repairs. They give you some tips on how to keep your unit up to date, keep your unit churning properly. And I'm just talking about the AC stuff. They also got plumbing.
Now, Theo, if you were to do it all again, it wouldn't have taken a AC emergency for you to get locked in with EDS.
No.
Why fix a bad situation when you can avoid it altogether?
And that's the thing. Preventative is always better than the repair. You want to get in while things are flowing well. But if they're not flowing perfectly, then yes, EDS is yes as well. So had I had the hindsight, the 2020 hindsight, I would have been already locked in, because I remember the night that my AC went out and I was not home. This was back when I was doing TV, and I couldn't rush home to figure things out. I had to call in an emergency service person through EDS. But once we got everything sorted out and they were able to get my house back to livable conditions for my wife, she was my fiance at the time, then I was able to feel comfortable and confident knowing I need to lock in with these guys, get on the Gold Plan, because that was amazing and excellent service. And I want to know I have that kind of team on my side next time things go awry. And guess what? I've only had one other issue flare up since I've become an ADS Air Conditioning and Plumbing Gold Plan member. And that issue was because I wasn't changing out my air filter. So they pulled up, they solved the issue for me, and they said, hey, Theo, you burn a lot of candles. The more you burn those candles, the more you're going to clog up those filters. You got to change yours more often than not, because your wife is always lighting up all these candles you keep buying her. So we worked out a deal. He said, hey, change your air filter every month. You won't have to see us again. And by golly, they were right. EDSIsYes.com. Hop online or call today. EDSIsYes.com. When comfort matters, EDS is yes. How about some midday midterms on these NFL deals? How about we get to grading? Tina, I'll give you first dibs on grading each of these deals. We're grading them on behalf of the fan base. And CCAT gives us the deal. You give a grade. I'll grade secondly. We'll have some fun.
Okay.
It'll be great.
It'll be so fun.
First up, we're going to Seattle, where the Seahawks gave Sam Darnold, ex-Vikings quarterback, a 3-year, $100.5 million deal. Grade that for the Seahawks fan.
I feel like that's a B. I don't think that's bad.
Yeah.
They had Geno Smith?
They had Geno Smith. They traded him away for a third-round pick. You go get Sam Darnold. I think this is low-key an A- move because when you look at everything else on the NFL periphery right now, it's not a long-term investment. You can get off of him after a year. And also, I'd rather have him than Rodgers. I'd rather have him than Fields if I'm the Seahawks. And you're pairing him with Jackson Smith and Jigma, and at least we know that Darnold knows how to pepper an elite wide receiver one with targets. You hope that JSN could be that next year. So, offensive coordinator, too, Kubiak. That's an A-.
Next up, we're going to go to New York, the green side of MetLife, where Justin Fields got a 2-year, $40 million contract from the New York Jets.
I give that an A. I think that's good.
Locked in with you, twin. I give it an A. I wouldn't give it an A+, but I give it an A if I'm a Jets fan because think about this. You just had Aaron Rodgers for the past 2 years and Zach Wilson before that, and who else was it? Who was the quarterback, the older quarterback they had that subbed in there for them? Doyle?
Tim Boyle.
Tim Boyle.
I think that was Dolphins guy who got signed by the Jets.
Yeah, you had Mike White as well.
Mike, that's the name you're thinking of, Mike White.
You have suffered through quarterback hell over the past 3 or 4 years. You were promised this prince of power, this guy that was going to deliver championships, and he didn't. In fact, he made you worse than what you had before in Zach Wilson. One thing about Justin Fields, he is an electric player to watch. He brings the show to the turf.
You sure that's not fantasy football talking?
No, he is. Justin Fields is undoubtedly more fun to watch than anything they've had since Chad Pennington. He's a thrill to watch. Now, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Through 6 games last year, he had the Steelers at 4-2. And it's his old receiver, Garrett Wilson.
We are going to Pittsburgh. How should Pittsburgh's fans feel about DK Metcalf getting a 5-year, $150 million deal from the Steelers?
Tina's a Steelers fan.
A+. Me and DK Metcalf have the same diet. It's candy, and he eats one other thing, and that's me as well.
Both of y'all are super fit too.
Yeah, but it works.
I give this deal a B+. B+, I want to give it an A-, but it's kind of a wait and see because DK is an imperfect player. Here's the thing. DK Metcalf, his girlfriend or fiance or wife, I don't know what stage they are in their relationship, is Normani. Normani is from Houston. Normani is also cool with Sierra. Sierra is married to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is the quarterback of the the Steelers. So I'm connecting dots here. So apparently Sierra actually introduced DK Metcalf and Normani. I'm going to get killed for the pronunciation of her name, but shout out H-Town. Also, DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson, they used to play together in Seattle. They've got the connection already. You got DK and you got George Pickens on the outside. You can't double both of them. That is going to be conflict for defense.
DK Metcalf's diet is 1 meal per day, candy and coffee. That is me to a T.
That is ridiculous. That dude is blessed. His genes are crazy.
And one more for you on today's edition of
F45s.
Midday Midterms. We're going to go to L.A. How should Rams fans feel about getting Devontae Adams for 2 years, $46 million?
Man, this honestly, bro, this is a B-, C+ for me. I'm sorry. I know I was supposed to let you go first, Tina.
I was thinking a C.
C. Devontae Adams is going to be he's going to turn 33 next year. That is the age in which wide receivers generally go off the cliff. He has not had a double-digit touchdown season since 2022 with the Raiders. And in that offense, we have seen the kind of wear and tear it puts on receivers' bodies with Kupp and Nakua over the past couple of years. What makes me think a guy that's been dealing with hamstring injuries is going to be able to withstand what Sean McVay puts receivers through in that West Coast offense? I'm a little nervous about this deal.
Winning now with Stafford. He came back. Let's do it right now. And working on a developmental receiver and try to get that to gel in the draft, that's not quite it. I kind of like it.
I guess it's the lesser of two evils, right? I guess for them, they're like, this is the closest we can get to Kupp's production, or maybe even better than Kupp.
But even it was the organization who chose to move on from Kupp. He made that very clear.
Yeah. The Rams did not want to keep Kupp. Part of that was due to health, his lack of availability, plus his play kind of tailed off a little bit. Devontae Adams probably is a better receiver today than Kupp was last year. But I caution to act as if this is the Devontae Adams that we knew in a Packers uniform or even in a Raiders uniform. His play's also falling off.
Devontae Adams just turned 32 in December. Cooper Kupp, 31.
Right. He got older.
Yeah.
Got older and probably slightly more expensive to get Devontae Adams in-house. I don't hate the deal. That's why I say a C+, B-, but I don't think that this is the splash deal that people are making it out to be. You're going to be thoroughly concerned with what you get on the back end of that. Plus, in that Rams offense, you got to block. You got to block a lot as wide receiver. That Kupp was one of the best blocking receivers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get your hands dirty, Devontae. See how that works out. On the other side, we give you a last call, and we get you on out of here on a Motion Monday on Theoretically Speaking. That's Tina. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
The quality of our choices affects the quality of our lives. So, when it comes to how you move, do you choose to see a doctor or go to the #1 orthopedic specialist in the world, backed by a team who custom tailor your treatment? Do you choose to live with limitations or live life to the fullest by going to the place that's #1 at getting people back to what they love? Choose better, move better. Locations in West Palm Beach and Wellington. Learn more at hss.edu/Florida.
The roar of the engines, the heat of battle, the thrill of NASCAR is back at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd, 3 days of non-stop, heart-pounding action as the stars of NASCAR take on South Florida's most intense mile-and-a-half track. Make sure to tune in to Theoretically Speaking and Russo and Rizzo because we are giving away tickets. If you don't win, make sure to get your tickets at HomesteadMiamiSpeedway.com.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
We are proud of our parents. Want to know why? Because they work for the school district of Palm Beach County. There's lots of great jobs with paid vacation, holidays off, healthcare, and retirement. You can be in the same schedule as your kids. Come work at the school district of Palm Beach County. You'll see why it's your best choice.
Join us at the Team Palm Beach Schools Job Fair. Register at palmbeachschools.org/job fair. That's palmbeachschools.org/job fair.
Get ready to elevate your driving experience with the all-new 2025 Range Rover Velar P250 Dynamic SE. A stunning blend of luxury, performance, and technology that will make every drive unforgettable. Right now, you can lease the new Velar for just $759 per month for 36 months. Yes, only $759 a month for a luxury SUV that sets new standards on the road. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Man, Grady Jarrett to the Bears. They're beefing up the trenches on both sides. We also saw the Bears pick up a defensive end as well. Like, NFL free agency's heating up today. It's been a lot of motion, whole lot of motion, CK.
And you got to stay right here because Russo and Rizzo, they're live right from here.
4 o'clock.
In Palm Beach County in the Treasure Coast. They'll be live, I believe, from Clover Park today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they will have
Cacti
more.
Park.
Cacti Park today.
Clover Park on Friday.
Nice. They got a busy week.
Yeah.
They're on a move.
So they'll have more breaking news as the day goes on.
Okay, so we'll get that in later on. But C-Cat, I heard you had yourself an eventful, fun weekend, not just with the girlfriend, but also hitting some ball.
Why not both? Me and the girlfriend went to the club at Lost Lake. Oh, my goodness, dude. Personal best 102, the course, the Fazio design course, the club at Lost Lake. They're still accepting memberships. And I can't say enough about how peak condition it is in and how great the customer service is. They want you to be there. They make sure your time at the links is the best that it can be. Shout out the club at Lost Lake. Go to their website and get signed up with membership.
102?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now.
Are you in trouble?
Doing a little something. You're doing a little something. You're doing a little something there. Hey, but I keep that thing on me, too. Don't worry about it.
What does that mean?
Last call from Tina. That's what that means.
Okay.
3 words fill in the blank. I'll give you a hint. It's around fear. The only thing we have to fear
is fear itself.
I said
Good
it first.
job. I think I did that one already.
No, you haven't.
Okay.
You didn't say it first.
I finished fear before you finished fear.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
But
I'm so
you have
proud
to
of both
say
of you.
is fear itself. You didn't say is. You just said fear itself. It's 3 words.
All right. Fair enough.
So I win.
Okay.
Yes, you did that one before. It was a president who said it. Like when we were in
Hold
World
on,
War
hold on.
I.
Can I do the president?
Yeah.
FDR.
Yes.
I'm like that, dog.
Was that World War I or 2?
I don't know that answer.
Delano Roosevelt. Go in love, go in peace, go in joy. Russo and Rizzo next on ESPN 106.3.
Training is back with our New York Mets. Catch the Mets at Clover Park in Port St. Lucie as they gear up for another postseason run. This time with Juan Soto. Soto and the squad are certainly ready to make some noise this season. Tickets are on sale now. Grab yours before they're gone. The Mets are hosting the Rays, Red Sox, Yankees, and more. It's a lineup you don't want to miss. Head to Mets.com to lock in your seats today because remember, baseball